Okay, here we go. So we're going to be, we're in our second module today on effective approaches to social emotional learning. And today's module is focused on, adult social emotional learning, and specifically you as an educator. And the reason that we're looking so closely at this is that how we, oh, give me 1 second. Okay. The reason that we're taking a look at this is that the research shows that stressed out teachers have stressed out students. And being that we're in the middle of a pandemic, and we also know from research that teaching is one of the most stressful occupations, teaching in a pandemic makes it even more stressful. So what we really want to look at is how what's going on with you affects the culture and climate of your classroom. And so when we think about, what does it mean for adult social emotional learning? Well, it really means how well are you able to regulate your emotions and balance your stress? And then in doing that, are you able to model for your students how to balance their stress and regulate their emotions? And so that's kind of the background on why we're looking at that today. So again, cultivating strong relationships. This is something that you guys already do. You stand in your doorways, you greet your students, you have a good pulse on how they're doing and when they're not doing well. And we know that adults that do this with themselves feel more passionate about what they do. They're able to have stronger relationships with their peers outside of their workplace, and then they're able to cultivate strong relationships with their students as well. So it's a win-win when our teachers are not overstressed and they're feeling balanced. Okay, so we're going to just take a look at this video here.
Can anyone else hear it? Because I can't hear it. I'm sorry.
I had some music sound, but there we go. No.
I cannot hear it. I have nothing.
We're not hearing it either.
Oh, you guys can't hear that?
No, we can't.
We cannot. No, we cannot.
Okay, give me just a second. Let me see if there's anything I can do.
You did say watch a video, and we're watching.
Okay, well, okay, so that's good.
We could read subtitles.
Oh, that's true. Okay, let me get those on. Sorry about that. Let's see if we can find subtitles here. All right. Sorry about that, guys. Give me a second here to see if we can get them. I know, I just remembered.
Share the screen. If you stop sharing, or if you stop sharing, and then click share.
Sorry, guys. Give me just 1 second. I'm going to see if we can get this figured out for you.
to the learning process.
You had so much to offer yesterday. You okay?
Can you guys hear that?
Yes, yeah.
What's going on?
Thank you.
Strong relationships are central to the learning process. What the science of learning and development tells us is that we need to create learning environments which allow for strong long-term relationships for children to become attached to school and to the adults and other children in it.
When children have experiences of closeness and consistency and trust, oxytocin is released. Oxytocin has many, many positive effects on the development of the brain. So when we think about a relationship, we're not just talking about being nice to a child. We're talking about a child having an experience of attunement and trust strong enough to release the hormone oxytocin.
Good morning, Ariella. How you doing today?
The purpose of the morning greeting is to connect with them and to just make sure that I'm seeing them as humans. Like I'm making that relationship with them, making that bond.
I prioritize relationship building because getting to know them is the best part of the job.
When I come in the morning, we usually talk about things that are happening in our community.
We're trying to build caring and respect.
The teacher is trying to understand who I am and my values as a person.
When I have a free 45 minutes or an hour, I think to myself, I could sit down and catch up on Grady, or I could go and make connections, whether it's a smile or a joke or a reminder. It validates their presence in the building.
Rock it out in the art room. It starts from so much honesty and transparency with kids. It's really easy to strive to be this like idealized, always ready to go elementary school teacher, and that's not real and that's not human. When people start talking about other things while I'm still giving directions, it feels frustrating for me and I have to take a breath. My students connect most with me when they see that I also struggle and I also have challenges. It takes a lot of vulnerability on my part.
Total familiarity.
When that student knows that you care about them, when they know that you're a human,
Let's think about that.
their academic performance in your class is going to be better.
If I'm comfortable around them, then I'm more confident around them, and it's easier to ask questions and things like that.
So when you're looking at this graph, what is it that you think happened?
Some teachers I don't always get along with the best, so then sometimes I'm like, I can't do it, so I'm just not gonna do it. But when I like the teacher, I want to do their work. I'll be like, I can learn this.
You all have done outstanding work.
Emotion and learning are completely connected. If you're in a positive emotional space, if you feel good about yourself, your teacher, that actually opens up the opportunity for more learning.
Good to see.
All right. So anybody have any takeaways from that? Something that really stuck with them? So one of the things that really stood out to me was when the young man said, some teachers I don't get along with, so I don't do the work. I think it makes sense that, you know, for students, if they don't feel that a teacher supports them or believes they can do something, that they're just going to give up and not. So it's really, it just kind of goes back to the point that it's really vital for us to have those relationships with the students and to focus on, you know, them being okay and us being okay too. Anybody see anything else or hear anything else that really stuck out to them? Yeah, the oxytocin part is interesting too. Yeah, that's a good part because it is conducive to bonding. Thanks for pointing that out, Lisa.
Kara, a few years ago, and some of our, I don't want to say older staff members, some of our more veteran staff members may recall, I showed a video by a comedian by the name of Mike Gunger, who talked about men's brains and women's brains, and how in either brain, if you take an event, you connect it to an emotion, it burns in your memory forever. And that goes for along with relationships as well as connecting content to emotion too. And so I think if you combine those two things, and that video certainly validated it, it's awesome of what can be accomplished with kids when they feel that relationship and that connection to an event.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. Anybody else?
I'd like to interject. I thought Rick was going to talk about Mr. Mulia. He used to always say, the kids don't care about how much you know until they know how much you care. And that was always something that stuck with me about the relationship side of being a teacher.
Yes, absolutely. Great points. Great points. Okay, so I'm going to turn over the presentation to Miss Bracken. Hopefully everything will work better for her than it has for me. All right, Miss Bracken. Yeah.
Hi, everyone. I'm Miss Bracken. For anyone that's new to West Shore, I haven't had a chance to really meet everyone yet. So, hi there. Okay, so we're talking about modeling social and emotional learning skills, and I'm going to continue with the slideshow. Adults who cultivate their own social, emotional skills are able to teach and model the same skills to students. And modeling these skills presents positive examples for our students. It lowers their stress, and it also helps them to engage in more pro-social behaviors. We all know as teachers that we have a lot of power to help our students to either have a great day, have an okay day, or maybe a day that's not going so well. We have the power to choose to de-escalate situations, and we also sometimes unwillingly could even be responsible for escalating situations, unfortunately. When we have students that are in a stressful situation, they're feeling overwhelmed, they're feeling stressed out, the best thing that we can do is model being calm, helping them to relax, and not to overreact to their emotions. Okay, thank you. Maybe. So managing our own stress and reducing burnout is pivotal for us to help our students to be successful. The information that you're looking at right now is presenting some data from the American Federation of Teachers and BATS. It says that 61% of teachers report feeling stressed. 81% feel stressed about their jobs often or all the time. And 58% of teachers report that their mental health is not good. We know that it's been very difficult, especially the last couple of years. But as Mr. Fleming always reminds us, we are very fortunate to be here at West Shore and in the environment that we're in. And even so, we do have a lot of stress that we have to learn how to manage. Reducing staff stress helps to improve our job satisfaction and also helps to retain good teachers. So lower teacher stress is associated with higher academic test scores and improved behavior. And educators' overall satisfaction is associated with higher student well-being and increased pro-social behavior. So effective approaches to SEL. In this module, we looked at the importance of our own social, emotional well-being. We looked at building relationships with our students. And we also are reminded of the importance of modeling the SEL skills to our students through our interactions every day. So social emotional learning is important to us. And with that, we are going to end with a quote Classrooms with warm teacher-child relationships promote deep learning among students. Children who feel comfortable with their teachers and peers are more willing to grapple with challenging material and persist at difficult learning tasks. Conversely, when teachers poorly manage the social and emotional demands of teaching, students demonstrate lower performance and on-task behavior. So I was wondering, what do you all think about that quote? Would anyone like to comment on what you think about this? Or you can add it to the chat. Let's see, Miss Rad said modeling being human. Yes, and dealing with those emotions in a regulated manner. Absolutely, that's right, Miss Rad, thank you. The birth hormone, Jody, yeah, I missed that one before in the chat. Okay, and this is something that we already do and we do very well. So these are just reminders. More importantly, we just really need to remember to take care of ourselves, because we're always giving to other people, to each other, to our students, but we have to remember to fuel up and to take care of our own selves. So, and one more thing, continue, sorry. It says stress is contagious, and when teachers are stressed, students suffer. So one of the things in the exit slip that we want you to think about is, how can teachers be supported? If we are so pivotal in the lives of our students, and if what we do is so important and we have to be the role models for them, what do we need from our administrators? What do we need from the district? And what kinds of support do we need to offer to each other? So that will be on the exit slip. And we hope that you will provide some feedback. We will be collecting that data and presenting it to administration and presenting it to the staff as well. Also included in an email today was a personal SEL reflection. It's an opportunity for you to choose, if you'd like, it's optional, to look at your own awareness in different areas and to kind of rate yourself so that you can think about how you might like to approach this, and if there are some areas that you'd like to improve in. Okay, and that's where we're going to be ending today. Does anyone have any questions or any comments for us before we end our PD? Okay.
I love the message of focusing on ourselves and how that benefits more than just ourselves. You know, there's just so much stress right now, and the daily task of just looking after me and looking after my family is going to help those people around me kind of not have to deal with my level of stress. You know, by me reducing my own stress, it can help reduce the stress of those around me.
Yeah. Yeah, just to piggyback on that too, Glenn, and I don't want to be just administrators talking, because I think this is for everybody, is, you know, kids see that we're human, and I heard that in the videos, and that we're certainly not infallible and immune to stress, and to talk about that stress, even with kids that we may be going through, and not to get personal per se, but to recognize it as a stressor for all of us, I think is important. And kids see that not as a vulnerability, but as a human element. And I think that helps them deal with their own stress. That my teacher, because I mean, I've seen kids at grocery stores and different things, and they look at you like, "Oh, you shop," you know. So I mean, to show that you're stressed and you're human too is a good quality for us.
Absolutely. And I think our students, especially our older students, our high school students, get that. They know if we're having a little bit of an off day, or we're a little frustrated, or things aren't going very well, and they get to see that and see how we can kind of be flexible and roll with it and go with it. So absolutely. Anyone else would you like to chime in?
It's Carolyn here. I was just gonna say that kind of it goes both ways, and that the kids also really appreciate when they recognize that you understand that they're also people like outside of your classroom. And so taking that, you know, just 30 seconds to say, hey, how was your weekend? Or, hey, I noticed you're upset. Everything okay? And that, you know, knowing that they matter to you, they will work much, much harder just having that feeling. So it works for both of us, right? Like they want to know that we see them as people, and we like knowing that they understand we're people too, and that we make mistakes and we have bad days, and it, you know, we're working together to achieve, you know, common goals.
Absolutely. Thank you. Lisa?
I was just thinking that it's a chance to model behaviors of like how to process when things aren't going right. And I think especially this year, I've said this more than ever, but if I'm having an off day, I'll just say, okay, today I'm having a tough day. So just know it's not you, it's me. And that way, if something comes off, you know, my tone is not as pleasant as it usually is.
Thanks, Lisa. I'm looking in the chat, and I wanted to thank people for posting in the chat. Athena agreeing with Chloe that they need to know that we are real. Absolutely. And Jeff said, showing that there are a wide range of reactions to common and uncommon circumstances. And Lisa said, I think as a group, we're used to caring so much for others that we don't always refill our own pitchers, and that sometimes we can feel like we're running on empty. And Kirk said, running on fumes. But we keep running anyway. Yes. All right. Yeah, Alex, I was a little bit taken back with all those hats. I thought, am I supposed to have a hat for something? But I do like the hats, guys. Thank you for that. Kara and I were sitting here going, what's going on with the hats? What's going on with the hats? Where's my hat? Kara, did you get hats? So we like that a lot. So we also want to thank you for your patience today with our technology. This is the first time that we've presented this way to a staff. And of course, you guys always make us feel just slightly intimidated by your awesomeness. Okay, and Kirk said, try and know what activities they are doing. I was able to tell my crew kids good luck on the regatta this weekend. Yes, big golf meet next week. Yeah, that is awesome too. Trying to connect with the kids, just a little second here, a little second there about what's going on in their lives, and understanding, being empathetic and compassionate towards them goes a long way. Oh yes, the screaming goat. I'd like to hear that goat, Miss Landmaster. And that's for when.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. But the kids are like, hit the goat whenever someone's having a bad day, and they laugh and it changes the whole mood. So I love it.
I think PTA should get us all the screaming goat. It can be like the West Shore screaming goat.
I love it.
I love it. Emotional support llamas totally work too. The kids love them. Yes. All right. Those are great ideas. Thank you everyone for sharing. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your patience with our tech today. We hope that you have a wonderful weekend. Enjoy it, get some rest, and get refueled. And we will see you on Monday. Bye, everyone.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kara. Thanks, Tim. Thanks, everybody.
Hi guys, thanks.